Welcome to The Vault, where we reveal some of the best kept secrets for success. Our show is designed to introduce you to industry professionals in TV, movies, music, sports, and business. Now, our goal is to learn from a wealth of information and use it to realize your dreams. Today's guest is the CEO of a nonprofit that helps children get prosthetic limbs. His organization also has a large roster of cosplay superheroes who help inspire sick children to have hope. Introducing Zac Hurst.
Hello, Alex.
Hello. Welcome to The Vault.
It's good to be here.
We're so happy that we have you on right now. We're introducing here Zac Hurst, who is with the Much Foundation. And if you could just jump right into it and tell us a little bit about your charity organization. We'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely. Much stands for Makers United for Children's Hope. We formed about 4 years ago to be able to bring together in a roundtable some of the emergent technologies that were out in the fields that would be able to have an impact on children who are battling a form of disability or in the middle of the challenge of fighting their disease. That's why we formed.
So tell me how you use that technology to help children that are, have cancer, let's say.
Well, when we're working with a child who's facing the end of their life, or they're facing the last 3 months of a very long struggle before they recover, what we're able to do is we're able to surround that child with an environment that gives them a bit of excitement about their own life, a little bit of hope that there is something to cling on to. It's had profound effects when we're dealing with a child who is terminal. When we're dealing with a child who's facing either a disability or a disease that they can't overcome, what we do is we work with the industries that can provide either a new piece of robotics that helps them to be able to extend their reach, or perhaps even a new piece of software that allows them to have a greater awareness of their environment. So there's the technological side of what we do, and then there's the superhero visits and princesses and fantasy fulfillment side that we do as well.
So let's first talk about the superhero visits. Could you give an example of how much helped a child that was sick, with maybe a terminal child, how you help them feel better?
Absolutely. Last year we had a boy named Ty Verbanis, 7 years old, and he had a very strange formation inside of his skull. It was a form of a cyst that had taken over a good 25 to 30% of his brain case, and his entire brain had to function within the other areas of his mind to be able to survive. And what we wound up finding out is that the boy was facing a surgery in 6 days. And his only request of his mom was, can't we Google Batman's phone number? Isn't there a way that possibly I could meet Batman? The boy had been told he had less than a 27% chance of surviving this surgery. This surgery was literally the last ditch effort, the Hail Mary of these neurological surgeons as a way to be able to save this boy's life. And they were giving him 3 out of 4 odds of dying. So he wasn't looking at a really long time to be alive, and all he wanted to do was be able to meet Batman. And when his mother got in contact with the Much Foundation, it touched our hearts, and we realized that maybe this was one of those opportunities that we should do more. Maybe it's more than just one of us getting into costume, one of our cast members going out and visiting the boy. And so what we did is 50 of us got together, and in less than 48 hours, with the help of our community and a lot of supporters, we built a completely immersive movie screen accurate version of the Batcave for this little boy. And our Batman showed up in a Batmobile and picked him up and brought him into the cave for the night. And I was really lucky. I got to play Alfred that night. We put on the little pencil mustache, we slicked the hair back, and we had our Batman and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman and Spider-Man and Superman and all these great characters interacting with the boy. And when Alfred got a moment with the boy privately, all we told him was, so you have a surgery, right? And it's really scary. But all we need you to do is wake up. Because if you wake up, Alfred trained Batman because he saw in Batman's heart the resolve, the character, and the kindness to be able to go out there and right the wrongs in the world And Ty, I see that in you. I want to train you to be able to fight crime with Batman. And all you need to do is just wake up after your surgery. Do you think you can do that for me? And he told all of us he could. And he had a really bad seizure after the surgery, and he went into a coma for over a day. The doctor said it was over. And the little boy woke up, Alex, and he said the first words out of Ty's mouth were, "So I can fight crime with Batman now, right, Mom? Let's get me better."
Wow. It's giving me goosebumps. I mean, I can't imagine having a child in that circumstance. And I think what you guys do is amazing because you gave him hope. And I would think that that probably did help him fight whatever he had to get through. And now is he a crime fighter on the streets? Is he helping vigilante justice everywhere?
After about 5 months of recovery, because there was certain memory difficulties and things that had to come back together again because it was very invasive surgery, he did actually head out on the streets of Tampa. And 6 landmarks were involved, and he fought on a battleship, and a bunch of amazing people came together to play all of the villains out of Batman. And Batman and the little boy went all through the streets of Tampa with the police department to battle crime for the whole night so he could rescue his mom from the Riddler. And it did happen for that boy. We are still in contact with that boy's mother. She still contacts us at least every 2 weeks and gives us an update on how he is doing, how her life is going. It's the relationship that comes in with these families after the special miracle that we do that means the most to us, because we're able to monitor that child's progress through the rest of their lives and see what it is that they need. And that's, Alex, that's just on our fantasy side. That's just on our costuming side. On the technological side, we address children that are missing their arms.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the technological side of what your foundation does?
The foundation has 5 different divisions, and they're separated into 2 halves. Half of it is our fantasy fulfillment, where we get to bring in the magic of Walt Disney and Marvel and DC and all of that for a child. The other half of our divisions, and one of them crosses over, is emergent technology and how off-the-shelf mechanisms can be bent and merged to become something that changes a child's life. And not just for the one child we help. When we get involved in a project, we try to create an item that is scalable to address the entire area of disability, not just for our children, but also for the adults that suffer from the same disability. We had a young girl.
Can you give me an example? I saw that you guys had a video of an arm. Maybe you could talk about that.
Absolutely. We had a young lady named Momo Sutton. She was 9 years old. She had come from China, adopted into America, and she's missing one of her arms all the way up to the elbow. This young girl has worked as a partner with Shriners Hospital to be able to provide her with any tool that she needed to be able to learn to swim, to be able to ride a bicycle, to be able to pick up objects, and they would give her single-use items that would work for her within her lifestyle. Something this young lady had never had, and I wasn't even aware that it didn't exist, was a 5-digit, individually controlled robotic limb so she could have a hand back. And when I found out that that's not something that exists, I took our robotics partner, which is Unlimited Tomorrow. They're out of upper state New York now. They had developed a piece of technology that would give this little girl not just a lifelike arm, but through all the work we did together, they were able to duplicate her existing limb by scanning it into a computer. And the computer flopped it over and created the outer shell casing of her new robotic arm. The arm has biofeedback that goes through the sensors, so she has a sense of grip and touch. It's an item that would cost her over $180,000 and something that would never become insurance. By working with our robotics partners, by working with Microsoft, by working with Shriners, we were able to provide this object to this girl at no cost whatsoever. They just finished a campaign for $500,000 to make it possible for 100 of these limbs to be distributed worldwide through our global initiative.
So tell me now, I I mean, I can understand why you do this, but what gives you the most sense of gratification, with your foundation?
There's a couple of terms in our public discourse about families that are in need when it comes to the need of a victim of a disease or a child who has no control over their lives. And those two terms are medical need. Medical need is covered by insurance, as well as insurance can cover it. But quality of life is something that all of the big insurance companies, they don't provide. And the area of quality of life is far larger than we might realize. What motivates us to continue to work with these new emergent technologies is that we have the ability to bypass all of the no's that a family's been given. Their doctors want them to have the help. Their orthotic specialists want to see them get the help they need. But the insurance companies won't provide the money to make that research possible. That's where the Much Foundation positions himself to be able to make A and B merge, and we're able to bring new products to a child's life that makes a difference. And the beautiful thing is, as I mentioned to you earlier, what we do is not just for children. The advancement of the technology on this new robotic limb we have is going out to adults and geriatrics and construction workers all over the world.
So how are you able to mobilize? Like, I can imagine, like, you make these, I mean, these videos I saw that you guys produced are very emotional. They draw a lot of feeling. Like, I watched them and I was like really taken back. How are you able to get all these other brand partners on board?
It's a matter of touching the human heart that is inside of each of us. We get lost in our own journey, Alex. We get lost in our own pursuit of our own goals, our own success. Maybe we had a really good idea, and that idea got a lot of attention, and it's going to make our retirement for us. This new video game, this new computer, this new vaccine, this new drug. And it takes us out of public life, and we lose a bit of our focus on altruism, on philanthropy. My entire job is to plug all of us back into the elements of human interaction that retouch our hearts and inspire us to work together. Makers united. All of us are makers in one way or another. If we unite, then I'm not putting the entire responsibility on you to produce something for a child that needs it. But you know what I need out of you? I need just X. And X is real small, but if you can do that, Alex, your X combined with everybody else's A, B, C, D, E, F, G is going to create a product that is going to change an entire area of disability.
All right, so I want to hear how you're going to change the world for every single individual that's blind. Tell me, I want to hear this.
Today on the shelf, what we have in our own vehicles, what we have in DARPA, where they're experimenting with new AI, they are teaching inanimate objects, central core processors, how to evaluate their environment and how to identify what the objects are in their environment and how to assess what kind of imminent threat that object places to the central core processor of the AI. What I have begun to do is I have begun to assemble an augmented awareness sensory array. The purpose of this array is to put a child into the middle of their daily environment, and through facial mapping technology, facial recognition, body mapping, perimeter sensory awareness, and threat identification, we have the ability to feed the data to the central core processor of that child, which is their brain. That gives them an awareness of their environment that is at a level they have never been able to experience before. The way that they train on our equipment and the way we get, you asked, how do we get people involved? Do you know what we've told the public? We're making an audio virtual environment for blind kids. Come on in, it'll be fun. Help us create this binaural recorded virtual environment that is based solely on sound. If you can help us to create that environment, we're going to create the joystick for the child to work within that environment. That joystick is our augmented awareness sensory array. When they beat the 3rd level within our video game, they have learned to have a set of awareness within a 50-foot radius of them that will tell them where their friends are, where their teacher is, where their parents are, where every single person that is logged into their system. It will let them know their location in their own bubble. Also, which walls are approaching. What is an inanimate object? What is a biological? These are all things that are available right now with the technology we have. That joystick that I told somebody, don't worry, we'll work on the joystick, is a sensory array apparatus that allows the child, when they beat the game, to wear our equipment in public, and it goes active. And it gives that child the ability to not only understand what's coming toward them, but when they are approaching a curb, a stair, a degree of declination for a ramp, and learning how to be able to transfer this data into the human mind is where we need the public to be able to help us with the funding so we can have a research and development. When we're done with this project, just like the ARM project, just like the wheelchair projects we do, just like everything else we've done, when we're done with this project, we will have solved an area of difficulty for an entire disability globally.
Wow. So let me wrap it up. As you know, our show is called The Vault, and what we have are the best kept secrets locked behind these doors. And we're trying to bust them open and share them with the masses. So what types of secrets to success are you willing to share for our audience?
If for whatever reason there is someone watching this, either right now live or far into the future, and you believe you have something that could genuinely bring a positive change to your neighborhood or your city, maybe it's a whole state or maybe it's the world, if anybody out there believes that something they have inside of themselves could make a difference for the population at large, I only have 2 secrets. And they're the simplest ones in the world, but you know what? When things have gone sideways and things have become hard, they are the 2 secrets that absolutely keep me going. Number 1, it is never supposed to be easy, and if you think it's supposed to be easy, you're in the wrong line of work. It's going to be hard. It is going to tear you down. It is going to tear you down to the essence of the only thing you have left, and that is just yourself. When that happens, and it's going to happen over and over and over again, you never, ever, ever give up. You continue towards your goal. And that is something that everybody says. But I'm telling you right now, in the moments where all is lost and you have nothing left and there's nothing left in your bank account, there is nothing left in your network of connections, what do? What you do is you do not give up. You continue towards your goal. Number 2, learn to communicate what it is that you are doing in a way that everyone can understand. Learn to communicate. Learn to reach into the hearts of the people you're speaking to. It's not hard to do. Talk to your friends. Ask them what it is that you've described to them that they remember from the last time you've spoken. Learn the points of connecting and engaging with the human soul. Those 2 things put together, as long as your cause is noble, you can never fail.
Zach, that is some great advice, and I've actually had to use that myself, and I think that that is going to be really useful for our audience. And I think I want to actually basically ask you, where do you live on social so that our audience can find you?
Absolutely. You can find us online through our website at muchfoundation .org, muchfoundation.org. And also you can find us through Facebook, Much Foundation, and Much Foundation fan page. If anybody would like to send me an email, send it to muchfoundation@yahoo.com. And if you guys want to post my phone number for the broadcast, I absolutely give you permission to do that. Please post the number. Anybody that would like to contact me, I'm more than happy to speak to. We are reaching out to all areas of technology, and to any philanthropist that believes that their money could make a difference in the world. We are one of the central hubs at this point that is having an effective difference in the lives of children that insurance has left behind.
Zach, once again, thank you so much for being on The Vault. We want to talk to you again. Let's have this in person when you come to LA, okay?
I'd like that. We'll be doing that in a few months. Can't wait to see you.
I can't wait. Thank you again, and we wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for helping children become heroes.
It was a pleasure speaking with you, Alex. I can't wait to see you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.